Well, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle set is about to come out. If you've been paying attention at all, we've had a few drops, a few cards, and reveals. So we know it's coming out pretty soon here. And this is my most hyped set. If I were to get rid of Unmatched, that's probably not going to happen. If I was to get rid of Unmatched, this would be the one set I would keep. It's pretty much everything in one box. If you were to get only one set, I would recommend this one, unless you are really not a Turtles fan. But come on, who's not a Turtles fan? It's been around since, my dad was born, and it's my kids now play Ninja Turtles. So it's pretty interesting. Let's take a look first here at the maps. This one here is New York, I believe, because you have Manhattan, Long Island, or Staten Island, and Brooklyn, the Bronx. Can't really see it very well in this picture, but here's another one. Here we go. So you can see it a little bit better here. And so it's going to play similar to, the Mothman and the Martian. Of course, it's going to be different. It looks like there's places here for foot soldiers to kind of sit and probably disrupt stuff. We'll see about that. And some other cool things we see. That there are 5 city threat tokens. These look like they're going to drop different minions in that area, maybe move Shredder to that area, right? And maybe he gets benefits for how many foot are in that. So you got to kind of do cleanup, kind of like you had to do with the Doom tokens for the Mothman and the aliens for the Martian Invader. So we see that with this side of the board. And you can see those laid out here, right along this track. You can see what we just mentioned from these city threat tokens. They'll be laid out there, and it looks like he wins when 4 of them are out, and there's a possible 5. The map layout looks pretty cool. It looks like the gray spaces that you see here, in here, and here are kind of like manhole covers, and they're all connected, so you can travel really quick. So that's pretty thematic, if you ask me. So that is going to be his side of the board, Shredder, and you'll be fighting him on there. Then we have this photo of Dimension X, and you can see the track up there is just a wee bit different. I'm not exactly sure how it goes. There's no numbers, it's just moving along, and it looks like there's going to be something. I'm not exactly sure, but it looks like there's going to be something maybe blocking off certain areas, kind of like right here, right here, right here, right here. I don't know what it is, because as you can see, this little marker here moves along. It looks like this stuff moves along, and if you go to the Kickstarter page, you can kind of see some of the you can see this little thingy a lot better, and it's kind of like one of the red things that you see through, and you can read certain things, so maybe different effects for that. You can see that he has a dice, and we saw that back here in the other picture. It's a 1 through 5, I believe, and then X being essentially a 0 for different things, and that'll play into his actual deck too, not just his not just that character. So why don't we just jump right in? We'll start with Krang, because we're already talking about him. So here's everything we have revealed for Krang so far. We have Krang's Doom. He moves 1, and he's melee, but he does have 16 health, no sidekicks. Morons, I'm surrounded by morons. Krang has 3 Doomsday machines. Start with 1 machine active. After you roll the die of epic destruction, you can flip an active machine to roll the die. Add +1 to your move value for each active machine. Okay, so he's going to obviously have like a Sinbad effect, where with his machines, he'll get to move a little bit further. And I'm sure his Doomsday stuff will come into effect in these cards. The Molecular Amplification Unit, there are 4 copies of that card, as you can see here. And it's immediately repair a machine. Now, again, we don't really know exactly what the machines do. During combat, increase the value of this card by the die result. So the die can go up to 5, I believe. I'm almost positive. Maybe it's 4, but that'll be a 7 attack if that is so, which is pretty insane. We'll take a look here at this scheme card that we see, IQ of 968. And you can see very interestingly, I think it's interesting, that right here, there is the boost values determined by your die result, which is pretty funny. And then right here, we're going to have his effects. There are 3 copies of this card, the scheme card. This is activate all machines. Draw however many cards, and Krang recovers however many health. Now, if that's 5, even if it's 4, that's pretty insane, right? So we don't really know the odds of that right now. Let's take a look here at this card, the Welcome to the Technodrome. 3 copies. Immediately choose one. Cancel effects on your opponent's card, or activate a machine. Wow. Okay, so this is going to be your cancel, 2 value, but you have the other option on your card, which is pretty interesting, pretty cool. And then Android Arms, and this is a specific card. It looks like, because whenever they do this right here with the colon, this is Android Arms, and then the specific one is Chain Flail, but there must be other Android Arms, I'm guessing. After combat, if the printed value of your opponent's card is less than the die result, or they didn't play a card, they discard 2 cards. Okay, so they're probably going to be discarding 2 cards, which is pretty crazy, 3 times. Now, probably not going to happen every time because of his the chance, right? You're going to have a kind of Pandora type character here in his chance. Anyway, that is Krang. We're going to move right along. Might as well cover the next villain, which is Shredder. Shredder's 15 health melee with 7 health sidekick in Bebop and Rocksteady. Master of the Clan. Oh, and he's moved 3, which is, excellent. At the start of your turn, deploy a foot soldier to a path adjacent to a friendly fighter. You may attack opposing fighters adjacent to foot soldiers. If an opponent boosts their move, they may remove any foot soldiers their hero moves through. So they have to boost. So he could be bad against certain characters, maybe like Ghost Rider and such. So I'm assuming kind of like squirrels, you're going to have to make sure that you keep those at bay so that he doesn't get his effects off. All according to plan is a 3-value defense, 2 copies. After combat, your opponent gains 1 action. At the end of this turn, if they didn't play a scheme card, they discard 2 cards. So you're kind of like forcing them to do something, right? Some characters don't even have a scheme card. Speaking of schemes, we'll move along to obedient subjects. I can't remember or if it was even shown how many copies there are, but gain 1 action for each foot soldier adjacent to Shredder. That's pretty crazy if you're not keeping those foot soldiers off the paths as the opponent. You're going to have a tough time with Shredder. So I think it'll be fine in the end. I don't think that's too OP. It sounds OP, but I don't think it will be. A 5-value attack is always nice to see. Swarming Strike. 3 copies. During combat, add +1 to this card's value for each adjacent foot soldier. Again with the foot soldiers. That's kind of his thing. And yeah, pretty dangerous, right? So you got to keep those foot soldiers off the path. I hope it's not like Squirrel Girl to where that's a problem, where she's such a low-tier character, because you can easily take care of them, but we'll see. Then we got a 4-value any, so that means Bebop and Rocksteady can be using it, and it's Savagery. We've seen this card in other decks before. If you won the combat, deal 1 damage to each fighter adjacent to your fighter. 3 copies. So it's nice that it's an any, so you'll be able to decide who you're going to deal the damage to. Or rather, if you won the combat, you deal 1 damage to each fighter adjacent to your fighter. Oh, okay. Sorry, I was thinking something else. So it's still nice in that regard. So anyway, damage is an extra damage, Just be careful, kind of like Bigfoot has to be careful not to end next to the Jackalope with that card. That same card. Masterful Defense is a 2-value defense. Go figure. 2 copies. Shredder recovers 1 health for each foot each adjacent foot soldier. Man, you got to keep these foot soldiers at bay, it looks like. That is Shredder. That's everything we know about him so far as I know. Let's move on to Raph. He does not have a lot of cards revealed. Raphael has anger issues. Once per turn, when you attack and lose combat with either Raph or Casey, you gain 1 extra action. This ability is only active on your turn, and you must use it during the first combat you lose each turn. Right here, you can see it in summary. On each of your turns, the first time you lose combat, you gain 1 action. Casey Jones is ranged. Sweet. So he's chucking balls and hockey pucks at you or whatever he does. 17 health melee Raph, and then you have a move value of 2. You can see how he could be dangerous with his ability in some of these cards. His 3 value attack only card, Unbridled Rage, has a 4 boost, and there's 2 copies. Discard any number of defense or versatile cards. Add +2 to this card's value for each card discarded this way. Kind of like a beast form, or owl form, or forever hide. But you do have to be careful. You're not getting rid of, some of your good cards. Then over here we have Relentless. And Relentless here is a 3 value any. So that means we can use this with Casey. And it's versatile. 2 copies. Shuffle this card into your deck. Then draw 1 card. I recommend playing this one on defense, right? Because they're probably not going to feint it. Of course, be careful of that because they might be aware of that. We have a Casey card here, 2 value versatile, slap shot. After combat, if Casey is adjacent to the opposing fighter, this card's value 6 instead. 3 copies. Okay, so that's always, that's kind of like a huntsman deal, right? Where he has to be adjacent for it to go off. And a 6, always nice. What's cool is you could probably use that and use some other cards that are any's, or maybe some other Casey cards as like a bait or a switch up. Then we have a flat 5 defense, heroes in a half shell, and every turtle seems to have that card. Okay, moving on to the next turtle, let's go over Mikey. Michelangelo Pizza Party. As Mikey, you only draw 3 cards at the start of the game instead of 5, and must discard down to 3 cards instead of 7 at the end of your turn, so you're pretty limited. During your turn, each time you attack or play a scheme with either Mikey or April, you must draw 1 card. This includes when you use a versatile card to attack. So, right here, Pizza Party. After you attack or scheme, draw a card. Your starting and maximum hand size is 3. And you have a 3 move. He's the only turtle with a 3 move because he's got a skateboard. Sidekick April O'Neil, ranged, perfect, and a 6 value health, 6 starting health. And then Michelangelo is melee with 14. Okay, so Booyakasha, Boisterous Beatdown, 3 copies. Michelangelo only 2 value, but the effect is pretty cool. After combat, gain 1 action. If you won the combat, gain 2 actions instead. A little Bruce Lee action kind of going on there. And then over here we have Guaranteed Delivery. And Guaranteed Delivery is a 3 value versatile. And this looks like an alt art card. Maybe I am mistaken. I don't know. I can't remember. Oh no, this is not. This is not an alt art card. This is the actual one. Guaranteed Delivery has 3 copies. Immediately, you may put a card from your hand on the bottom of your deck to cancel all effects on your opponent's card. Wow, incredible. Because you putting a card from your hand on the bottom of your deck, you now know what order things are coming in later in the game, at least 3 times, right? And so, with that in mind, you'll be able to do a lot of cool things. If your hand is, and it's also, a cancel. So, after combat, if your hand is empty, you get to draw 2 cards. Cool. Kind of like a little dragon from Bruce Lee's deck. And then this card here, Turtle Power, you may boost this attack 2 copies. So you can boost it. Let's see what boost values. He at least has a 3, 1, 1, and 3. Okay, so we know that this Turtle Power card can be boosted to a 6 at the minimum. Or at the most so far. We'll see what happens. Then we have an April card. It's a 0. We don't know anything much about that. I can't really read it. I think it's like deal damage to an adjacent fighter or something like that. If I had to guess, it says something down there. And then a 2-value defense any, so April can use this back for seconds. Yeah, why couldn't anyone eat pizza, right? 2 copies. After combat, shuffle 2 random cards from your discard pile back into your deck. Insane. Recursion, always a nice thing. So that is Mikey. Moving right along, we're going to go over Donnie and end with Leo. So let's go here. Donatello. Donnie has 3 action cards in his deck with purple invention bonuses at the bottom. Whenever you play one of these invention cards, resolve its main effect normally, but not its purple bonus. Then, instead of discarding the invention, tuck it underneath your character card so only the invention bonus is visible. Each invention bonus you tuck this way is active for the rest of the game and applies to both Donnie and Metalhead. And you can see those cards there, and we'll see them in a minute. Also, removing cards, each invention's main effect lets you remove certain cards from your discard pile to augment your action, as stated on the card. All cards you remove this way are out of play for the rest of the game. Removing cards does not improve an invention's ongoing bonus, only its main effect. And then invention details. If you play an invention and it is canceled, do not resolve its main effect, but still tuck it. Okay, that's cool. You're still going to get the active bonus. If you discard an invention without playing it, place it in your discard pile normally. Ooh, you don't want to do that, right? Tucked inventions are not in your discard pile and cannot be returned to your hand or deck. Cool. Okay, Donatello. 14 health, a little bit different color green. It's so cool to see a little bit different color green. You know, it's kind of representing the different iterations that we've had of Ninja Turtles. And you see that on the border of his card there. Melee and Metalhead's melee. 14 health and 7 health. They move 2. Whenever you maneuver, you may draw 2 cards instead of 1. If you do, put a card in your hand on the bottom of your deck. Again, augmenting your deck. Crazy. After you play an invention, tuck it under this card. Now that could be some analysis paralysis right there, right? Here's the inventions. We'll start from left to right. The attack card, 2 value, 1 copy of the Electro Grenade, and they're all 3 boost. During combat, remove up to 4 attack or versatile cards in your discard pile from the game. Add that amount to this card's value. Crazy, right? Depending on how many, up to 4 attack or versatile cards, right? But still, that could be a 6 on this Electro Grenade. And then the purple effect, which will be your invention effect, add +1 to the value of your attacks. Cool. You probably want to get that one out early game. But again, if you do get it out early game, there has to be a sweet spot there because you got to have cards for the during combat effect on this card, right? So be careful about that. Next up, we have the scheme card, Smoke Bombs. Remove up to 4 scheme cards in your discard pile from the game. Gain that many actions. Okay, so you can gain 4 actions. That's insane. And then right here, when you play a scheme, gain an action. So you obviously are going to have other schemes. I think we'll see one here in a minute. And then a 2-value defense, Self-Defense Grid. After combat, remove up to 4 defense or versatile cards in your discard pile from the game. Donatello recovers that much health. Okay, potential 4 health recovery. So you're taking probably some damage because it's only a 2 defense, but then add +1 to the value of your defenses for the rest of the game. That's going to be sick, right? I think that's going to be sick. He's going to be quite the character to play as, I think. I want to look first here at his... Okay, so we know that he definitely has these 2 schemes here, right? So we'll start here and then we'll move on and go on that way. Deal 1 damage to an opposing fighter adjacent to Donatello. Draw a card. Bow staff seems pretty cool. That's pretty solid. That's 2 really good things you can do with the bow staff. And there's 2 copies. A damage and a draw. Normally it's either just draw a card or just deal a damage, right? But you're doing both. That's cool. Okay, Party Wagon. Let's see what it says here. I think there's 3 copies. Maybe 2 copies. 2 or 3. It says move a friendly fighter up to 5 spaces. They may move through opposing fighters. Then deal 2 damage to the opposing fighter they moved through. Okay, so dealing 2 damage to an opposing fighter that you move through. And there's a couple copies, that's just some auto damage. And then also remember that anytime you play a scheme, according to this here, anytime you play a scheme, you get to gain an action. So essentially, if you're playing these in the right order, if you get them in the right order, you could do this, gain an action. The future of ninjutsu. Look at the top card of any deck. This is a metalhead card, so he has to be alive to play it. You may put that card on the bottom. Okay, so you can look at if you're playing against like Shredder or Krang in the adventure. That could be extremely helpful, right? For the sidekicks, for your teammate, whatever. And get the cards you want for your own deck or to mess up your opponents. And then you draw a card and you gain an action. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let's see here. Thinking Ahead is any card. So either one of them can play it. 3 attack, 3 copies. After combat, if you won the combat, you may put a card in your discard pile on the bottom of your deck. Okay? Winning combat with a 3 isn't that easy, but remember your grenade card could make this a 4, so it could be a 4, and you'll probably be winning. And that's probably why they made it a 3, because it's a pretty good effect. Anyway, so you get to choose that card as well. You may put a card in your discard pile on the bottom of your deck. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then he has an any 3 value versatile that we don't know what the effect does. Okay, Leo. Our last guy here, Leonardo. Team Tactics. At the start of his turn, Leo may move any fighter up to 1 space. You may choose any friendly or opposing fighter, even Leo himself. That is quite the ability. At the start of your turn, you may move any fighter 1 space. 2 move value. They're both melee. He's got Splinter as a sidekick with 9 health. That's hefty. And then 16 health himself. That's good as well. Fearless Leader over here is any card. And it looks pretty cool. I mean, you get +2, add +2 to this card's value for each other friendly fighter adjacent to the opposing fighter. Imagine the possibilities with that in teams and in adventure games. But either way, it's going to be a 5, right? +2 for each other friendly fighter if you get Splinter adjacent, or if Splinter gets Leo adjacent. Then we have Leonardo Leads, and it's a 4 boost, 2 copies scheme. Move each friendly fighter up to 3 spaces. Draw 1 card. So you're moving Splinter, drawing a card. Okay, you can set things up. Cool. Cool. Oops. That's pretty cool. Then we have here For Sensei. It's an any card though, which is kind of interesting. Any card that says For Sensei. What's he saying for? If Splinter uses it, is he saying it for himself? That's kind of stupid. Anyway, they probably just needed it to be an any for Splinter to have more. For attack, 2 copies. After combat, move both fighters in the combat up to 1 space each. You may discard 1 card to gain an action. Another cool card. Depending on the game state, what you can do with that. And then we get a 5 defense. We saw this one in Raph's deck, so we assume they all have Heroes in a Half Shell 5 value defense, 3 boost. Very solid. And then we have this 2 value versatile, wise beyond his years. I think after combat, something. I don't know. I can't really read it. I think somebody deciphered it, or there's a clearer picture somewhere. But this is what I saw. Anyway, not really remembering what it does. Right here, we can see some of the cards we already saw before, over here and over here. But this is the card we haven't seen. It's a 6 value attack with the Katana Leonardo only card. That's pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. And then here's a cool one. It is Splinter, the Protective Father, 2 copy scheme. Splinter may swap spaces with another friendly fighter. If he does, they both recover 2 health. Okay, sick. Keeping in mind, and they gain an action. Keeping in mind their health pool, 16 and 9, and you can do that twice in a game. All right, so that's some health recovery right there. Even if you're gaining the action, which isn't as good for if you're going for fatiguing. But it doesn't seem like he's gonna. Okay, and then here's any versatile 3. Eat, sleep, and breathe ninjutsu. After combat, place each adjacent fighter to another space in their zone. It looks like it says. So that's cool. Cool. You just get some board manipulation there. And then lastly, what do we got? I don't think we have anything. Anyway, that's all we know so far of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Let me know which character in the comments below. Let me know which character you are most excited to play as. What which enemy you're most likely going to love playing against more. Whether that is in the adventure here, or that is in the against them 1v1. Which matchups are you going to do first? What are you interested in? Are you going to do the Turtles all versus Shredder, the Turtles all versus Krang, or maybe just solo or 1v1 Turtle versus Turtle, or Shredder versus Leo, or maybe even Shredder versus Shredder, as that is now possible in this game, or Krang versus Krang. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments.